The accusation didn't land so much as seep, slow, sour into my mother's dining room. 23 faces caught it and nodded, like a contagion they'd agreed to share. At the head of the table, my sister Camille raised her wine glass as if she were blessing us. Her smile was the one she wore on panels. "Hannah has always been like this," she said, gesturing at me. "She takes. She never gives back. I helped Dad set up retirement accounts. I covered Marissa's wedding deposit, and she can't even be bothered to contribute to Nana's facility." I cut my roast chicken into tidy pieces. Chewed, swallowed. Silence was a habit I'd learned the way you learn to flinch. My father cleared his throat. "Camille's right. You're 32, Hannah. When will you start thinking about someone besides yourself?" An aunt laughed, soft, approving. Camille leaned back, satisfied. "Remember when I split my birthday money and Hannah hid hers in that tin box?" More chuckles, old stories, repainted until I was the villain in every frame. I stared at my plate until the gravy blurred. They didn't know about the corporate account paying Nana's care each month. They didn't know who'd wired the anonymous lifeline that kept Camille's company from folding 4 years ago, when her payroll was days from bouncing. They'd never know unless I made them. Dinner ended in clattering dishes and murmured pity for my supposed coldness. I hugged my mother, thanked my aunt for dessert, and drove home in my dented sedan with my jaw locked hard enough to ache. On Monday morning, I opened my laptop, pulled up my attorney's thread, and typed 2 sentences that felt like cutting a rope. Initiate full withdrawal. Notify leadership today. 7 years earlier, I sold my first software company from a rented studio and hid the buyout behind LLCs until my name vanished. Visibility attracted relatives like moths, so when Mom said, "Camille takes risks and builds," I nodded and let her believe my cover story. Dull government contracts. Camille launched her latest startup with a glossy deck and an office she couldn't afford. The idea, AI customer support, was solid. Her execution was theater. She hired friends, burned cash on appearances, and let the product lag. In 2019, she asked me for a bridge loan over coffee. "Just 20 grand, she said, like it was nothing. I told her I didn't have it. Her face sharpened. "Right. Hannah the taker." She walked out without paying. 2 weeks later, I called my investment attorney. "Anonymous capital," I said. 95 million. Make it untraceable." He warned me. I did it anyway. I remembered the sister who once held my bike steady before favoritism turned us into roles. The money hit. Camille boasted about major backing. My board seats installed real leadership. Engineers arrived. The company steadied, then surged, while I kept driving my dented sedan to my contract job. Then Nana had her stroke. The facility cost was brutal. The family pledged loudly. I set up the full payment quietly. The administrator called to confirm, then mentioned no one else had paid a cent. I checked ledger. Camille promised $3,000 monthly and paid nothing, not once. By Wednesday, my phone was a swarm. By Thursday, Camille stood at my apartment door, voice fraying through the peephole. Friday, Mom ordered an emergency dinner. I went. Friday's emergency dinner had the same crowded table, just a different hush. They pledged money to save Camille, far more than they'd ever sent for Nana, and it still wasn't close. Mom looked at me. "Hannah?" "I can't help." Camille shot up. "You won't. 43 employees." "How much do you need?" I asked. 95 million, she whispered. I slid my phone across the table. The 2019 authorization was already open, 95 million into her company through Cascade Ridge Holdings, approved by my signature. Camille read, color draining. "You were the investor." "I was," I said. "And I've covered Nana's facility in full since she moved in." I let that hang. "So spare me the speeches." No one spoke. The chandelier hummed, and every glance finally slid off me. Camille's voice rasped. "Then why pull out?" "Because last Sunday you called me selfish and everyone agreed." The words came out clean, like a blade. "I'm done financing my own humiliation." I stood. "You have 30 days' notice. Restructure, sell, or shut down responsibly." I ignored their voicemails. I made sure the employees didn't drown. I hired the strongest, placed others with partners, and funded quiet severance. On day 29, Camille filed bankruptcy. 2 months later, she came to my office in jeans, clutching a folder. "Help them," she said. "I failed them." "I already did," I told her. "Everyone landed." When Nana died, I handled it quietly and sat in the back row while Camille spoke about love measured in actions. Then I went back to work, under my own name, finally writing my life without their margin notes.